Hi everyone, it's Chris and welcome back to another video. Thank you very much for joining me today. Now I've been retired now for about 2.5 years. I retired when I was 59, just shy of my 60th birthday, and I wanted to take up a new hobby, and that hobby of choice was sailing, and that was about a year ago I started. So to celebrate the anniversary of me starting sailing, I thought I'd do a video on Yacht Rock. Now I know it's not for everybody, but hang on in there. This was also inspired by going to a gig recently with a friend of mine, Tony, and we went to see London-based band Young Guns Silver Fox at the Fleece in Bristol, and it was a really good gig, and they are recreating that yacht rock sound perfectly. It was a really good concert. So the term yacht rock didn't enter popular imagination until decades after its heyday in the late 70s, early 80s. And that term yacht rock, it came from the title of a mockumentary where real life stars like Michael McDonald, Kenny Loggins were imagined as a group of friends lounging around the breezy marinas of Los Angeles. And it was probably early 2000s that mockumentary came out. So yacht rock, I think, refers to the soft rock that dominated FM radio in the late 70s, early 80s. One of the most successful genres from the late 70s, but I think it's evaded a concise definition ever since its inception. And for many listeners, it just boils down to the feeling or the mood that it creates, really. So simply put, you know when you hear a yacht rock song. For me, it's characterized by, I guess, by glossy, slick, polished production, harmony vocals, really good musicianship, jazzy chord progressions, plenty of use of Fender Rhodes, saxophones and guitar. Definitely got a kind of a jazz R&B influence, but it's alongside kind of laid back vocals, layered harmonies. And the musicians who play this kind of stuff often hailed from very in-demand session musicians. So for example, the guys who make up the band Toto, well, a lot of those played on other people's stuff, including, for example, Thriller. So put on your white trousers, your boat shoes and your mirrored shades, because I'm going to take you through a journey of my favourite 25 yacht rock tracks. I haven't included Crockett Theme by Jan Hammer, although it's got the look and it probably would fit quite well, but this isn't a very precise genre and I think I'm going to be bending the rules quite a lot. So let's just see how it goes. Now, number 25 is a lady who made a name during the glam rock era. On this label, Rack label, which has got a yacht on the label. But on this 78 single, she does a duet with a guy called Chris Norman. It's Suzi Quatro, alongside Chris Norman on a song called Stumbling In, which is a great tune, really laid back kind of tune. It isn't Devilgate Drive, that's for sure, but a really good example of yacht rock. Stumbling In, Suzi Quatro. In the early 70s, a band called America brought out a song called A Horse With No Name, which is a great tune. But I think by the time they got to about 1974, they were creating some of the best early examples of yacht rock. And this is, I think, their third album, something like that. This is Holiday. And it's got lots of examples, I think, of this genre. And the song I'm choosing at number 24 is Tin Man. Great song. At number 23, a tune from this album. This is saxophone player Grover Washington Jr. Very much a smooth jazz fusion album, and he does a duet on here with Bill Withers, who's got a fantastic voice, and they produced a really popular song actually called Just the Two of Us. Really good tune. That's Grover Washington with Bill Withers. At number 22, I think this is the only solo album by Donald Fagen from Steely Dan. It's called The Night Fly. And it's very Steely Dan sounding in terms of its production, its vocals, its instrumentation. But the song I'm choosing from here, what's this, at number 22, is the song, I think it starts off side 2 from memory. It's called New Frontier, which does sound very kind of later Steely Dan, but it's a good tune in its own right. So New Frontier, Donald Fagen. At number 21 is a guy who made his name in the Commodores on the Motown label, and this album is actually on the Motown label, which you wouldn't expect to be in a yacht rock kind of list, but I think Lionel Richie's Running with the Night's a really good example. This is 83, this album, Can't Slow Down. Running with the Night does feature, as lots of people were starting to do around about this time, to start using rock musicians. So, you know, Michael Jackson did it to great effect, didn't he? But Running with the Night does feature Jeff Porcaro from doing some great drumming from Toto, alongside bandmate Steve Lukather, who played a guitar solo on most people's stuff in the kind of early 80s. But that's got some wonderful guitar work on it, Running with the Night by Steve Lukather. But I think it's a really good example of yacht rock. That's at 21. At number 20 is a song from the quintessential Yacht Rock album. This is, I think, the debut album from Christopher Cross. Some great songs on here, very laid back, very yacht rock. But the song "Ride Like the Wind" is a good tune, and it was covered by Saxon, the British heavy metal band, to reasonable effect actually. Now, what Christopher Cross did on this album is he assembled a half decent group of musicians, and Eric Johnson, who's no slouch on the guitar, plays the solo. I think it's him anyway. At the end of Ride Like the Wind. It's a bit down in the mix, but it's a great solo, and that's a great song, and that's at number 20. At number 19 is a song by a band I know nothing about. It came out in 77, got a bit swallowed up here, I think. But Baby Come Back by Player is a great tune, and that's at number 19. At number 18 is Billy and Bobby Brothers, the Alessi Brothers. So this just called Alessi. This is a 76 song, but charted here in the UK. In 77, Oh Laurie, great song. I don't know if it's really yacht rock, but it's got that layered vocals and really slick production, and I think is a good example of it. Next up is a band who were famous for their kind of very slick harmonies, but until they reunited in the early 80s weren't really yacht rock. But when they did, they brought out a single, Southern Cross, that's very yacht rock. This is Crosby, Stills and Nash. A really good example of the genre for me. Fantastic stuff. Next up is a guy you wouldn't expect to see on this list, but again, it's got all the hallmarks: slip production, great melodies, great harmonies, really good song. Eye in the Sky by the Alan Parsons Project. Really good song. Very, very yacht rocky for me, that one. Next up on the Asylum record label, it's the same record as Jackson Browne and the Eagles, who I haven't included in this list. I don't think they are yacht rock, but Andrew Gold and Lonely Boy definitely is, and that's at number 15. At 14, maybe this guy wouldn't usually be on the list, but I'm going to include it because it just evokes this whole feeling. It's a great song. It's the title track from On the Beach by Chris Rea. Mid-80s is this album. It's a great song. Beautiful vocal delivery on that. Really laid-back song. Love it. On the Beach, Chris Rea. Next up is a guy who made his name with Journey, fantastic AOR band, very successful. His name is Steve Perry. He's got a gorgeous voice. His first solo album is really AOR, but it's very, very R&B soul influenced. And there's a song on here called Foolish Heart, which I think fits the genre of yacht rock perfectly. And so that's at number 13. At number 12 is Bruce Hornsby and the Range. Now, this is at the kind of later stages of yacht rock. This is more the late 80s. What's this? Is this 86, 87, something like that? But the way it is with that beautiful piano refrain, it's a fantastic song, and I think fits the genre really well. So we're into the top 10. No, sorry, we're at number 11. At number 11, I don't actually have, well, I do, but I don't have it to hand. It's somewhere in this room. And the song is called Sweet Freedom. It's by a guy called Michael McDonald, who featured, I think, briefly with Steely Dan on one of their albums, but also played with the Doobie Brothers. More about them in a second. But this is a solo song called Sweet Freedom, and it's written by a guy called Rod Temperton. Now, Rod Temperton was an English musician who was a keyboard player who played with the band Heatwave, who produced Boogie Nights, but he also wrote a number of songs for other people. So he wrote Rock With You for Michael Jackson, along with Off the Wall and Thriller. So this guy could write a tune. He also wrote Stomp by the Brothers Johnson. He also wrote Razzmatazz by Quincy Jones and Love Times Love and Give Me the Night by George Benson. Now, Give Me the Night actually would have been a good example of a yacht rock song. I forgot that one. So this guy could write a song, but Sweet Freedom by Michael McDonald, which charted here in the kind of mid-80s. But I think it was from a film rather than an album, but a great song. But I think slightly better and into the top 10 is when he appeared with the Doobie Brothers and they changed their sound. And What a Fool Believes is a fantastic example of the genre. Great vocals from Michael McDonald. He had the look and everything, the sound. At number 9, gone with the song from Steely Dan. This is Hey 19. This is from the album Gaucho, which was from 1980, a really smooth album. Hey 19 is a really smooth song. This is the last album they did before they broke up, and I think they reconvened in the 90s, didn't they? But the last album from 1980. But Hey 19 at number 9. At number 8, alongside America, I think is one of the earliest examples of yacht rock. It's by Albert Hammond, and it's It Never Rains in Southern California, which I think has got all the hallmarks of this particular genre, that slick production, that vocal delivery, and so on. Great stuff. One of the early examples of yacht rock. At number 7, a band maybe you wouldn't expect to see in this list, but they don't usually sound, I don't think, as slick as this, but this is I think, again, has all the kind of features of yacht rock. It's Climax Blues Band and Couldn't Get It Right. It's a great song, really slick production, great tune, very melodic, great stuff, and that's at number 7. At number 6 is a band who features a guy called Paul Carrack, who played with Mike and the Mechanics and, of course, Squeeze. Wonderful voice. One of his early bands was Ace, and they had a hit with a song called How Long. This is also from 74, so one of the early examples for me of yacht rock. Really set out, set the standard, I think. But How Long by Ace is a great song. At number 5, I'm choosing a song that actually originally was recorded by a duet called Seals and Croft, and the song is called Summer Breeze, but I think there's a better version of it. And again, it's one of those bands that were kind of mixing the kind of R&B soul with a more rock sound, because they did have in their guitar, one of their guitarists, what was his name? Ernie Isley, I think. They had a fantastic guitarist, and the song Summer Breeze, the Isley Brothers version of it, features some wonderful guitar from Ernie Isley. That's him on the end there, and that's my number 5 in my list. I think that's a really good example of yacht rock. At number 4 is Hall & Oates. Now, I think Daryl Hall would probably hate the fact he was in any yacht rock kind of list. You know, his early stuff, like their early stuff, like She's Gone with kind of Blue-Eyed Soul. But I think Rich Girl is a really good example of yacht rock. Now, they did some brilliant songs. Kiss on My List, You Make My Dreams, I Can Go For That, Man Eater. They knew how to write a good melodic song, but I think Rich Girl is a wonderful tune, and that's my number 5. At number 4, really getting to the business end of yacht rock now. This features is a band that features lots of musicians that have played on so many other people's albums, and that is Toto. And this is Rosanna, which has that really sort of not groundbreaking, but that really interesting kind of halftime shuffle drum beat to it that Jeff Porcaro lays down. It's also got, from Steve Lukather, just some amazing guitar work, and the album version of it certainly has. The single is slightly more edited, but Rosanna is a fantastic yacht rock song, and that's at number 3. At number 2, I don't know if this guy is really yacht rock, but for me, this is a tune that kind of evokes this kind of feel. It's The Boys of Summer by Don Henley. Oh, I think it's a wonderful song. I love that. I remember when that came out, played it to death. Yeah, great tune. That's at my number 2. My number 1 is a solo artist originally played with Steve Miller, but produced a number of solo albums. And on this particular album, he has got a number of members of Toto playing with him. And for me, alongside Christopher Cross, is one of the quintessential yacht rock albums. It's from this album, Silk Degrees by Boz Scaggs. Great kind of soulful voice. Again, he's assembled a really good band here. There's some really, as I said, quintessential yacht rock on here. What can I say, low down, but the song I'm choosing is a song that I remember from 77. This is a 77 album. Takes me back to that year instantly, and I think it's brilliant, and it's Lido Shuffle. And that's my favourite yacht rock song. So there we are. Tell me what you think in the comments below. I'm sure I'll lose subscribers on the basis of doing a yacht rock video, but hey, I thought I'd share that in celebration of my 1 year of sailing. But there you go. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'm sure I'll be back sometime soon with another video. Cheers.